let's talk about convex grind blades and convex edges. What a lot of people don't understand is that all cutting tools, knives, swords, axes, garden tools, all of them from the beginning of time, and we're talking from the Bronze Age all the way up to about 1900, were convex. I want you all to think about all the pictures you've seen of guys laying down in front of these big stones that appear to be round, right? They're not flat, they're round. So how did they flat grind a blade on a round stone? They didn't. How they did it was the same way I was taught, which is you've got this big round stone and you're going to do this with the blade. See that? See that action? It makes a rounded surface on the blade. If you push straight into that big round stone, then you get a concave grind. But they didn't do that. They actually ground them this way. They didn't make hollow grinds. Because the stone was, 4 foot in diameter? So there wasn't much of a hollow to that. Well, around 1900, people invented something. A couple things, actually. In automatic grinders. One of them was an automatic left-right universal flat grinder. Makes a flat grind. They also invented double hollow grinders, which are actually like a coffee cup. And there's one on each side, and you push the button, and it goes in, see? And then the blade pulls through, grinds both sides at once. Done. Finished. What was that invented for? That automatic hollow grinder was invented to make disposable butcher knives. So now they had to figure out how to sharpen that. So they made a helical sharpener. You pull the knife through, and it makes a perfect V. There were not knives with V bevels or with flat grinds or hollow grinds prior to that. This is all new stuff, okay? New is not necessarily better when it comes to cutting. A convex blade and a convex edge. The convex edge has more, well let's do it this way. It has more thickness behind the edge spine. In other words, this is the spine of the edge. Why is that an advantage? The thicker the edge spine, without being ridiculously thick like an axe, it holds the carbides better. What are you cutting with? You're not cutting with the iron, you're cutting with the carbides. So the more support those carbides have, the longer your knife stays sharp. Now, is it a challenge to make a thick edge cut like a thin edge? Absolutely. But that's how we shape the edge, so that it will do that. Do convex edges feel as sharp as V-bevels? Nope, but they are. When you feel it this way, don't try to feel it that way. It'll cut you right to the bone. A.G. Russell came up with a term for our edges decades ago, and it was called deceptively sharp. He was right. Convex edges are deceptively sharp. They're like a razor, but when you go like this with them, they don't feel it. Guys get our knives out of the box and they say, well, that doesn't feel sharp, let me sharpen it. They end up dulling the knife, of course, sending it back to us, and we put the convex edge back on. We chose the convex edge for the company because it actually cuts the most efficiently. When you cut something, you make a cut in it. As the blade goes deeper in it, as the blade widens, it actually opens the cut. So it's more efficient in taking a hide off an animal, in carving wood. No matter what you're doing, it pushes the material away from the edge. Batoning, and I know that that's a bad word to a lot of people. With a convex edge, because it's thicker in here, once you start to baton through the wood, the edge isn't even touching the wood anymore. You're not using your edge, you're using it like a wedge. If you're doing it right, you won't damage the edge because you're pounding it down, and that V in the wood that you're pounding isn't even touching the edge anymore. So the convex shape is more efficient. Why aren't factory knives done that way? It's because there's no machine that makes a convex grind. They've got to be done by hand. It's very simple. If there was a machine, some kind of automatic machine that made a convex grind, more people would use them. There isn't, so we do it ourselves. Now, is there a trick to the way we do it? Absolutely. Why do our blades that are convex ground seem to cut more efficiently than some other people's that are convex ground? Their blade's too thick in the middle. If you notice, I've been using this blade here. This is a flat ground blade. And you're going, Mike, why would you use a flat ground blade? Well, we don't want that big fat part. We want it thicker in the middle, but not real fat. So you do a flat grind, then you impart the convex edge you want for that task. And people say, well, that's a micro bevel. Not if it's this wide. It's not a micro bevel. We actually bring the knife to sharp, it's still flat. It's a rough edge, of course, because it's on a rough belt. Then we convex the rest of the face of the blade to the edge we just set and then blend them together. So when we say we convex grind, there's 3 separate steps to our convex grind. 4 if you talk about the blending step. Very few people understand how to do it, and very few people would take the time to do it so that the knife is more efficient. We take that extra time. We want the knives to perform at the highest level possible for you.